Just imagine walking along New York's West 28th Street in the 1890s. The sheer cacophony of musical sounds coming from almost every building. Imagine scores of wheelin' dealin' song pluggers calling you over to hear their next hit song, each having a piano player plonking out the melody while a singer stood alongside belting out the lyric. This was the New York Song Exchange, better known as Tin Pan Alley. You most probably would have heard William or Bill Jerome singing his new song to the piano accompaniment of his young friend Eugene Schwartz. This dynamic duo would go on to write My Irish Molly and become two of the most recognizable names in the history of American music. William Jerome, full name William Jerome Flannery, was born in New York on the 30th of September 1865, and, as his surname suggests, he was the son of Irish immigrant parents, Mary Donnellan and Patrick Flannery. Eugene Schwartz, the son of Hungarian parents, was born in Budapest on the 4th of November 1878, the family moving to the Big Apple when Eugene was aged 13. William Jerome married actress, comedian and songwriter Maud Nugent, a hard-working artiste who had a million-selling hit in 1896 with Sweet Rosie O'Grady. So it's no surprise that the Jerome household became a magnet for aspiring singers and songwriters. Jerome and Schwartz had a minor hit in 1901 with When Mr. Shakespeare Comes to Town. 2 years later, they managed to have their next rollicking ditty, Bedelia, placed in the musical The Jersey Lily, an all-singing, all-dancing show starring talk of the town singer and actress Miss Blanche Ring. The show was a flop, but Bedelia was a huge success, partly because the chorus name-checked the famous singer and songwriter Chauncey Olcott. The chorus also featured a name which would inspire the duo to write their next monster hit, I'll be your Chauncey Olcott if you'll be my Molly O. My Irish Molly was written especially for Blanche Ring, who was then starring in the musical farce Sergeant Brew, and though the duo tried their best to pitch the song to her, she showed little interest. However, seeing great sales potential in the song, J. H. Remick, owner of a large publishing house on 28th Street, came up with a cunning plan. Bill, he said to William Jerome, why don't you mention her in the song? Go ahead, she's sure to roll with it. Falling to the suggestion immediately, Jerome reread the lyric and found that Blanche's surname would slot perfectly into the third line of the chorus. Springtime, you know it's ring time. Blanche loved it, so much so she decided to include it in Sergeant Brew, which of course meant ditching one of the other songs in the show. It was absolutely irresistible to her, said Schwartz. It did the business. Priced at 15 cents per copy, Remick published the sheet music, with ring time included, in early 1905 and distributed countless thousands of copies to retail outlets all over America. When interviewed by the Washington Evening Star, Blanche told the reporter that she remained confident that My Irish Molly O would equal the vogue of its predecessor. An understatement to say the least. It would soon become a million seller. Mr. A. Mooney, of whom little is known, was probably the first singer to perform the song in Ireland, the Kerry man reporting that on the evening of Saturday, the 18th of March, 1905, Mooney sang it at a concert held by the Irish National Foresters at the Hibernian Hotel in Tralee. Never shy of publicity, in July of that year, Jerome and Schwartz placed a huge notice in the New York Clipper, declaring that My Irish Molly O was the greatest song in the country. In London, indeed throughout England, it quickly became a music hall standard, largely due to the efforts of Miss Madge Lessing, an established singer and actress whose real name was Margaret O'Donnell. In January 1906, the Entertainment Gazette, The Era, reported that Molly was so popular in Belfast it was being whistled all over the city. 3 years later, back in New York, Columbia Gramophone Records released the song on a new recording format, the Marconi Flexi Disc, which sold out within days. There seemed to be no end to the magic of Jerome and Schwartz. Hit followed hit, including Chinatown, My Chinatown, and Sit Down, You're Rocking the Boat. And by the mid-1920s, the name Irish Molly was applied to yachts, horses, even greyhounds. In 1928, Mike and Joe Flanaghan, collectively known as the Flanaghan Brothers, recorded My Irish Molly O in New York, their version including trumpets and strings, and a tuba playing a memorable marching bass part.
Molly, my Irish Molly, my sweet
Stockists of the Flanagan's version, the Irish Music House at 1398 3rd Avenue, could barely keep up with demand. So what became of Jerome and Schwartz, the blue-eyed boys of Tin Pan Alley? They stopped working as a duo in 1913, but continued to write songs, albeit with other composers. In 1932, William Jerome was knocked down by a car, the accident resulting in his death a short time later, on the 25th of June, at Newburgh, New York. Schwartz lived to a ripe old age and died on the 30th of November 1956 in Los Angeles. My Irish Molly has all the hallmarks of a Tin Pan Alley gem. It tells of a man who is besotted with Molly, the girl of his dreams. He's convinced that she will, at some time, marry him, so much so that he tells her that he's just bought a flat and furnished it, and that the only thing that was missing was Molly herself. The apartment, he said, had 3 cosy rooms and a bath. Ever hopeful and ever optimistic, the suitor also tells Molly that he's even ordered a cradle for their baby. Many years would pass before My Irish Molly O was resurrected by that stalwart group of Irish maestros, the Danaan. The song included on their aptly titled 1981 album, The Star-Spangled Molly, with Jackie Daly on accordion, Frankie Gavin on fiddle, Alec Finn on guitar, Charlie Piggott on piano, Johnny McDonough on the bones, and Maura O'Connell on lead vocals. Molly was back and here to stay. And so ends the story of My Irish Molly O by William Jerome and Eugene Schwartz. Molly dear, and did you hear the news that's going round? Down in a corner of my heart a love is what you found, and every time I gaze into your Irish eyes of blue, they seem to whisper, darling boy, my love is all for you. Oh, Molly, my Irish Molly, my sweet acushla dear, I'm fairly of my trolley, my Irish Molly, when you are near. Springtime, you know it's ring time, come come, dear, and don't be slow. Change your name, go on, begin. Begorra, wouldn't I do the same, my Irish Molly, oh. Molly, dear, and did you hear I furnished up the flat? 3 little cosy rooms with bath and a welcome on the mat. It's £5 down and 2 a week, we'll soon be out of debt. It's all complete except they haven't brought the cradle yet. Oh, Molly, my Irish Molly, my sweet acushla dear, I'm fairly of my trolley, my Irish Molly, when you are near. Springtime, you know it's springtime. Come, dear, and don't be slow. Change your name, go on, begin. Begorra, wouldn't I do the same, my Irish Molly, oh. Molly, dear, and did you hear what all the neighbours say about the 100 sovereigns you have safely stowed away? They say that's why I love you, but Molly, that's a shame. If you had only 99, sure I'd love you just the same. Oh, Molly, my Irish Molly, my sweet acushla dear, I'm fairly of my trolley, my Irish Molly, when you are near. Springtime, you know it's springtime. Come, dear, don't be slow. Change your name, go on, begin. Begorra, wouldn't I do the same, my Irish Molly, oh. Oh, my